Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk? I am your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 111 of Dad Can We Talk? Man, we are rolling. Got a lot of stuff going on in these next few months, but man, I got some great interviews coming for you guys, man. I just want y'all to stay tuned. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting, all the great feedback that we've been getting from a lot of the stories from some of the dads that have been coming on the podcast, man. And for me, that's a big thing, to be able to just hear how people feel, and that's something that keeps me going. And I'm just trying to continue to keep it pushing, man. It's not an easy task, if I can say the least. It's not an easy task to continue to stay consistent with it, but I'm pushing. I'm definitely pushing. I know this is a great work, and I just believe that our stories are important to the world. So I'll do everything in my power to continue to keep this thing going, and we're going to continue to tell the story of fatherhood from our perspective. That's always been the goal. That's the goal from the beginning, and that's the goal right now. We're telling our stories from our perspective. And before we get started on today, same thing like always, man. I need y'all to go to the YouTube channel at Dad Can We Talk and subscribe to the channel. I've been getting a lot of people actually going and subscribing, so thank you to everyone that has done that, man. It helps me out tremendously. I cannot say how much that helps the podcast. That's like the biggest thing to help the podcast grow. So we're gonna continue to I need y'all to continue to do that, and I'll continue to do my part and continue to get these stories out to the world. So without further ado, man, today I'm with a dad that I've been I couldn't wait for this one right here, man. I had a friend reach out to me, and he told me that he think that this guy would be a great guest, and I was like, man, do not tempt me with a good time. I love stuff like this. So I reached out to him, and here we are today. So I am excited to hear his story, and I know he has some great stuff going on. I've been checking out his page, and I'm definitely ready to hear about this Proud Fathers thing. So man, y'all, welcome to the show, my man Dan Brinson IV. How you doing, my man?
What's going on, brother, man? Definitely happy to be here, man. And more importantly, love the initiative that you got going on. Anything fatherhood, anything fathers, anything dad related. I'm locked in always. And so definitely happy and proud to see what you have going on. And in any way that I'm able to play a part, I'm here now and will always be, because this is not a temporary involvement, right? Fatherhood, being a dad, that's a lifetime commitment. And so this is an ongoing thing as it relates to what it is that you're doing, what it is that I'm doing. And happy to be here, bro.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Y'all heard it. Heard what he said. It's a lifetime thing. This thing ain't, something that you do for 3 months or 6 months or 10 years or 18 years. It's forever. Once you're a dad, you're a dad. So this is a work that honestly, I don't never see myself stopping. I mean? It's dad stuff, I ain't gonna never not be a dad for the rest of my life. So same as with my brother here, man. But hey, man, the way we start the podcast off the same way every time. So we're gonna stick to that today. So my first question for you is talk about your relationship with your dad.
Oh man, jumping right into it.
Yeah.
So listen, man. I wouldn't call my relationship with my father unorthodox. It's one of those, unfortunately, if I'm speaking from a demographical standpoint, my relationship with my father is one of those things where, hey, my mom and my dad had a great relationship. They were married for 21 years. They were married when they had me. And so Between birth all the way up until about age 10, my parents were together. And so thereafter, my mom and dad divorced. That transition, mom and dad kind of being on rocky terms, our relationship just wasn't the best. A younger boy, I'm trying to figure out why dad left my mom, why did he leave us? The questions right in my head, not understanding that there's a little more dynamics that plays into that. That was all I knew, right? And so growing up, I wouldn't necessarily growing up without my father, but growing up not having the presence that I desired, wrong,
Mm.
right, or indifferent, whatever my father's reasons were. And I'm happy to say on this side now, older, wiser, having created a great relationship with my father, asking some of those hard questions, getting an understanding of what happened, why it happened, and just hearing his side, our relationship is 12 times better. So
Mm.
speaking now as an adult, my relationship with my father is great. I have a great relationship with my father. Growing up, I took all the positive things that I could from my father. My dad was never without a job, hardworking man. When he was in the home, he took care of his kids. And so that idea of what a dad was, I kept that with me while also still feeling heard and feeling, I mean, you're going to use the word abandoned. I felt like in my little head, as a young boy, I felt like dad abandoned me, but there was, again, more at play. And so taking all that into consideration, growing up without my father, at least within the home when I lived with my mother, it was a hard thing to toggle. And so it's just some of the things that I do now with my kids, and just making certain that I'm actively present, no matter what. I'm my own man. My dad was his own man. He did the best he could. He did what he knew how far as being a father. And so now, as I've transitioned to fatherhood, that's the things that I keep. I chew up the meat, spit out the bones of me and my dad's relationship. And so that's where I'm at with it. So one of the things that I always like to lead with is it's never too late to rekindle, restore, enhance your relationship with your father. And so that's definitely my story. Looking at just my entire life, I would say between the ages of 10 and 16, maybe 17, I longed for I want my dad every day type of relationship. Didn't necessarily have it, but I knew dad loved me. I knew there was always that place for him, but we just didn't have that ideal relationship, at least for what I wanted as a kid. But I was able to rekindle that, restore that. We were able to work through that. And I have that now, the wisdom that I long for, the conversation that I long for. I mean, there was times my daddy was calling me too much, not to say, but it was just that joy, that peace that came from us working things out. He was calling me almost every day. I started my morning with dad on the line as an adult. That made me feel good as a man. That made me feel good. And so, yes, our relationship now is definitely solid. That's my dude. That's my namesake, or I'm his namesake. And now I have my namesake. Lineage still going. I'm Dan Brinson IV. My dad is Dan Brinson III, and my son is Dan Brinson V.
Yeah. Okay. Represent, baby.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Man, something you said that I really love. You said as you became an adult, I think at times when we grow up like that, and I was in that same position of where growing up, I mean, I didn't have my dad in the home ever, but I did know him and stuff. But as I got older, and I became an adult, and especially when I became a dad, and I went back and had those conversations with my dad, man, I have so much of a greater understanding for what men go through just in general. It allowed me to forgive my dad in a sense, like
Absolutely.
still don't agree with a lot of the decisions he made, but it allows me to look at him from a different lens. And I think a lot of people, a lot of young men, uh, like you said, when we're in those teenage years and we really are longing for that closeness with our dads, especially when we don't have that, it could create like a resentment within us. But once you
Absolutely.
get older and you have like once you have your own kids and you see the struggle, even once you start having relationships, and you see the how hard it is, especially when you're married,
Absolutely.
man, and you see just how tough it is to be a husband and to be a dad and to be all that we're called to be. man, this life is difficult. And, you know, you understand certain situations that people might make at times. And, you know, it softens us up to look at our parents in a different way. Like,
Absolutely.
I can understand the decision you made. You know, I might not agree with it, but I do understand that. So I love when you say that, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not even to kind of beat on that, it's more so life, life the best teacher, right? And so life, like you've already alluded to, man, life really allowed me to show more grace, approach things with my own perspective, and just really just having an open mind around how other people did things. We don't do things the same. While I'm carrying my father's DNA, and sometimes I go around older family members, and even things that I'm doing, well, you are the spitting image of your father. It's like we're built with a certain makeup, and like we can't get away from that. But what we can do is allow the positive and the negative experiences in life to shape the way we move, the way we function, the way we think. And I think that's the beauty of fatherhood, and that's the beauty of life itself. We have the opportunity to look back and say, I didn't like that. I didn't like how this made me feel, or I didn't like, this experience that I went through. But here's my opportunity to take that, learn from that, eat on that, and then do better or enhance it. And so that's, having that grace with my father allowed me to do that. And again, taking those things that I know was nobody can ever take from my father, whether you like him or not. Man was a hardworking man. He's a grinder. I got that from him. That's something that I hold too close to the chest. Even when there were situations where, dang, I need my dad, or I wish I had dad around, there were things that I know I saw him do that I was able to emulate, and it worked out in the favor. So it's like, even if our fathers weren't there, we had to learn how to adapt, and take things from, what we thought it was to be a man, what we thought, but that's everyone, right? Even with men who had their father in the home, we're still all finding our own way. We're still trying to learn from, the things that our parents are teaching us, the things they try to teach us, because everybody goes their own journey, right? And so, like you said, learning from what your father and your mom said, did, went through, same with my parents. Now being a husband and a father, it's hard, and I know if me and my wife argue or fight, or we don't have healthy communication in front of the kids, just the same, it could impact them rather negatively or positively. And so just thinking about that, and if things wasn't to work in any one home, that those things greatly affect the children. But sometimes that may have been what needed to be done, or the lesser of two evils, right? No broken home is good, but no home with unhealthy relationship, or if a man and a woman no longer loves each other and they're not able to show that to the kids, hey, that may be what one deems an irreconcilable difference. But that's something that we, again, have the power, we have the economy, and we have the free will to make those decisions. And so taking all that into consideration, man, you definitely are able to give a lot more grace, and a lot more clarity comes with that. So my dad did what he felt he needed to do. My mom did what she felt she needed to do. They're both still here with me now, and for that, I'm thankful and love them both the same. With my mom being my baby, that's my rock. I am a mama's boy at heart. But hey,
Mom.
them calls from them parents, no matter what, it's always a blessing. And so when you actually look at the bigger picture, some things it's not even worth even holding on to. And that when that load is lighter, you're able to love with a lot more genuine vibes. And so that's what I appreciate most from my relationship with my dad, particularly. But of course, my mom, it's not even a discussion. That's my baby.
Yes, man. Shout out to all the great moms out there, man. I know we talk fatherhood all the time on here, but man, we love the mamas. We love,
Absolutely.
and we need y'all to know that. So for all the moms out there that do support, it's a lot of moms that support Dad Can We Talk, man. We love y'all, and we're thankful for y'all also. So y'all, man, I've been saying it for years, man. We got to get a Mom Can We Talk going, man. We got to get this for y'all. But
Absolutely.
man, I want you to talk about what are some of the most valuable lessons that you learned from your dad?
Oh man. I actually touched on some of them already, but man, as a man now, like being able to talk with Pops, all liquor, no chaser. He give it to me how it comes out. Um, it's not filtered. Uh, and being able to take those lessons now as a man, and sometimes they're immediately applicable to my own life or my own situations. You know, case in point, uh, you know, he's always drove home the point, especially, you know, having experience in relationships and, you know, being married more than once. That's one thing I can't say about Pops. He always been married. He's never been just kind of in the street. Not that ain't his MO. So just with that, like, you know, if you find a woman and you believe you love her, you know, and you guys are able to become one as a team and as a unit, and more importantly, taking her before God, you know, you marry that one, right? And so above all, none of us are perfect. My father's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But to see that was one of the things that he always practiced, you know, broken marriages, whatever we want to call it, didn't work out. Such is life. You know, that's, you know, it happens. One of the things I was been able to take away is if he loved a woman, he married her. You know, it was never, oh, this is my girl, my little lady on the side, or whatever the case. It was his wife. Pops always had a wife. You know, that for as long as I've known him, he's had a wife, and longevity. It was never no bouncing around. You know, he loved the woman as long and as much as he could. If things didn't go work out, you know, hey, he moved on, but he was married. He married the woman, right? And so being married now, that's definitely my devotion, and my commitment to my wife is to continuously get up every day and fight for our love, fight for our marriage, and being able to take those nuggets that I have now, like hearing my dad say some of the things he say, you know, at the end of this life, no matter what you go through, no matter what you obtain, if you don't have nobody to share it with, or you don't have a companion, or you don't have a, you know, a legacy, a lot of these things really don't mean anything. You know, you can gain all these different things in the world, but you'll feel empty if you don't have that special someone to share it with. So just having those types of conversations with him, the importance of taking care of the, you know, uh, my dad brought home the bacon, you know, in every aspect of the word when he was a grinder, you know, that man stayed working. He was a grinder, you know, and so sometimes that time that, you know, one father may want to be there for their kid, giving yourself grace and understanding that while we want to be everywhere at every, you know, turn, sometimes it's just not possible. And why it's not possible, because a man is a provider first. And so if I have to make some sacrifices for the family and be at work a little later than normal on any one day, to be able to give yourself grace. That's another nugget that I took from Pops, you know, and understanding, yeah, I want to make the games. I want to make the school event. I want to be there in the stands, no matter where you are. But at the end of the day, sometimes we just can't make it. But the reality of that is always ensuring that your kids know you love them, you're proud of them, and of course that effort. You know, kids also know our effort. Communication goes a long way. Having that open line of communication goes a long way. Another nugget that I've been able to take from Pops. You know, talk with your children, know what's really on their mind. You know, pick up the phone, talk with them. You know, in my case, my kids being younger, they're all in the house. Sometimes just that one conversation or that one phone call might change the course of one of your children's day. And so hearing Pops be able to kind of really say, literally, oh, you was my first call, or you my last call. I done talked to all my kids today. I know how y'all doing. And at the bare bone of it, you're breathing, you picked up the phone, and you know daddy loves you. And so sometimes, like, we don't really think about how important just those little nudges be, man. Like communication, just sometimes I don't need anything. I'm just really calling to see how you're doing. Are you okay? Cool. And like there's been calls where it was like 30 seconds, but that 30 seconds did a whole deal for the course of my day. What's going on, son? Good morning. How you doing? Cool. What's up, Pop? Nothing. All is well? Yes, sir. All is well. Getting ready to head to work. That's all. I ain't want nothing. Have a good day. Love you. Bye. Boom. That right there done set the trajectory of my entire day. And it took all of 1 minute. You know what I'm saying? So taking those types of practices, in his elder age now, he's a lot more slowed down. He thinks, and you can't take that for granted, man. When somebody got time to just slow down, look at life for what it is, think about 65, 70 years of experience and be able to pull from those buckets and to drop it into you, that's where those game changers come. And so thinking about those different gems that continues to come along the way, I'm grateful for each every one of them. But if I had to put a few at the forefront, it would definitely be, being a provider for the home, showing your children unconditional and genuine love always, keeping an open line of communication, and more importantly, making certain that if you are with the mother, whether you're together or you're co-parenting, respect that lady, respect that your spouse, and make certain that your kids are able to continuously see that, because that does a great deal for them. That does a great deal for your partner, or if you're co-parenting, that does a great deal for the mother, and everybody wins. Nobody wins when the family feud, right? And that's one of the things that he continues to drive home. Nobody wins when the family feuds. And so when you are showing healthy communication and you're loving on each other from in a genuine way, everybody wins. And so those are some of those gems that I would definitely say I've been able to draw from Pops.
Man, listen, bro, you just said something that you brought something to my mind. You said it's almost like your pop slowed, like as he's grown in age and wisdom, he slowed down. And it makes me think of a sports reference, especially basketball. They talk about, the greats, the LeBron Jameses, the Steph Currys, the Kobe Bryants. They talk about how the game slows down for them as they mature in their sport. And that's like their advantage because they're able to see things, like you think about when you're, rookies coming in the league, the game is probably so fast to them, and they're trying to think on their toes, they're making mistakes, they're here, they're there, they're all over the place. And even as a father, you think about, those first few years, oh shoot, I feel like I'm still in it. My oldest is 10.
Right.
I feel like things are still fast for me. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I can imagine, 20, 30 years into it, you've been a dad for 30 years and how life just kind of slows down for you and you can kind of see things as they come.
Right.
And, even for me right now, my life is slowed down more than what my kids are. So right now I'm able to see things that they can't see because of the experience that I have. And I can look at certain things, even young men, I talk with them in the community and stuff, and I can see certain things like, bro, listen, I can see that a mile away. And I'm just telling you from experience, this right here is something that you're gonna probably run into. I can see it because we've been there and we saw different things and we've had that experience. And just you saying that just made me think like, wow, and I think that's why it's so important to have a father or father figures, people
Absolutely.
in your life that had their life has slowed down a little bit and can kind of show you, all right, like for me, tomorrow I'll be on my 11th year of marriage. And
Blessings.
appreciate it. And so for me, I'm looking, I always like to look to guys who've been in this thing a little longer than me to say, man, dang, bro, this 9th, 10th, 11th year been difficult. How have you gotten to 20 years? How have you gotten to 25 years and 30 years? And they can give you insight on different things that, like things that we just don't see. And man, that I believe that's one of those important things. The more wisdom that we get, the more things slow down for us and we can like really catch stuff before it happens. And I
Absolutely.
think a lot of especially in marriage, a lot of things happen, when you go through those difficult seasons of life. A lot of it is because life is moving so fast and things just happen. It's like you and we say stuff like, bro, we were just good last week.
right, right.
And then it's like, how do we get here? Like, what happened? Because things are moving so fast, and it's not that it happened like that. We could, if we were actually paying attention and not moving so fast, we can see things before it happens. So yeah, that's a super great point.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great point there, man. Man, I saw a stat maybe 2 days ago. And the stat, it kind of caught me off guard. It said that 75% of our time we spend with our children in our lifetime will be spent by the time they're 12. Man, when I heard that stat, I was like, wow, that's crazy. And so, like what you're saying, we only have this window, this small window to where, before our kids really start to come into their own, we got to make an impact, like as much as we can before their life just starts to take off. And then we only have the time for what you're talking about, the 1 minute, 2 minute calls. We got to make a real impact, early in the lives of our children. So how old are all your children?
Well, they are almost perfectly gapped by 5 years. So my youngest, he's 3 now, he'll be 4 next month. And then my middle boy, my namesake, he's 9. And then my daughter, she'll also be 14. Wow, dang. Sound funny saying it. She'll be 14 next month. So after June 13th, I'll have a 4-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 14-year-old, all 5 years apart.
Sheesh. So man, what's that been like? So you've been in the game for almost 14 years. What's that been like for you, especially raising a girl? And she's now into her teenage years. Like, what are some of the ways that you've been able to keep her reeled in?
Wow, man. So it's listening to your stat. I'm sitting here thinking like I can see it. I'm thinking about the time I've shared with my daughter now, right? Between the ages of birth to 12 years old. Like that was the one and only. That was my baby girl, like locked in. Wherever she was, dad is also type vibes, right? And so having her at a younger age, me and my wife now, we were 20. So we were still trying to figure out life a little bit, right? A lot, right, actually. And so in school, both of us are still in school. We're in college. Here we are. We're pregnant at 19, getting ready to have our daughter at 20. But it was such a dope vibe, man. Of course, it challenged me and caused me to mature a lot quicker than the norm. I wasn't able to be on the same exact vibes as, your single bachelor or, your guy who's just out here and he's able to kind of really just move around and make mistakes. Granted, I made my own share of mistakes as well, but, now there's someone at the receiving end of those mistakes. So the stakes are higher, right? And every move that I make, it has to be calculated. There's someone now who definitely, without question, relies and depends on my ability to put out, right? And so just kind of putting that all at the forefront, I made certain that I spent as much time as I possibly could with my daughter and, growing into my own, going through college. There was a lot of things that I had to say no to. That's the baby girl, my daughter, I have a daughter, I couldn't make this, or I pledged, I joined a fraternity while raising my daughter. So the dynamics, were she was a part of those processes. Like she's seen dad go through school, almost start to finish. And so that was one of those things that I kind of used it to my advantage and as my strength. Like my daughter grew up seeing what it was to be in school and to study, all the way through when I, started law school. She would be in the library with me on days. I would bring her. That was, one of my prized possessions. It's my baby. When I think about quitting, when I think about giving up, this is who I think about, above all other things that, of course, are important. My partner, my spouse, not letting her down, making sure she's good. Then, of course, came along my 9-year-old. That's my boy. I got my boy, right? I got my namesake. Everything that I've been through and everything that I've done, if I could make whatever he's going to go through easier, that's my commitment and my devotion to him. So it just changed the dynamics of my life and how I move. And just really every day, just trying to make certain I'm the best that I can potentially and possibly be, because there are people who are literally watching. They're wanting to do everything they see dad do. You know, even looking at my son, he's 3, 4 now. You know, I'm in the house, I'm doing some things, I'm moving some things around, and he goes quiet. 4 years old. Well, he'll be 4 next month, but he's 3 years old. And I'm just, where's my son? I go into the garage. He's in there on the treadmill. Kid you not. And so I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, working out. I'm getting strong, daddy. Got it on video and all, man. And so he didn't know I was watching him. So I'm watching him for about, 2 or 3 minutes, just literally in his own little world, like you alluded to, starting to become his own little personality, the whole nine. So he's just in there, he's like, yeah, I'm getting strong. So, that was a dope moment. So I forced me, I'm the dad that now I'm doing too much. I'm extra. I done ran up, now I'm coaching him. Okay, that's how you do it, my boy. Yeah, whatever. Done hurt my boy because I done put the speed too fast. He done fell, hit his chin a little bit. But in those moments, man, those are the things that truly define why we do what we do, man. And to really be reminded that our kids see us, they need us, and they are trying to figure this life out just like we're doing by the guidance and the people that's put before them. So having pretty much a child at every age group, it's difficult because it requires a lot of us. You have a VP care, up and coming VP care. You got an elementary kid going into the 4th grade, and then you have a middle school becoming a high schooler. So we got every dynamic in the middle schooler becoming a high schooler. She's a girl. So that's a whole nother facet of what this all looks like, right? And so it going back to your points, grace and understanding, it's difficult. There's days my daughter like, being a dad and now being able to really truly be in tune with my feelings. There's days she's really hurt my feelings, bro. Like made me cry. I had to go in there and shed a real man tear. Like, you believe she tried me like this, like after everything I'm doing, right? So and they, like you said, man, they get older, they get their own state of mind, they got their own feelings. And so you have to really start to tap into that. Because you can lose your babies in a sense, right? Not physically, but sometimes kids are with their parents, but they're not there. They're not happy for whatever reason. They don't feel heard. They don't feel seen. So, like you said, from birth to about 12, that's that real deal molding, building, nurturing phase where you'll spend a lot of time with your kids. 13 on up, they ready to go hang out with their friends. They got sporting events. They think about driving. They got, now they're in that phase where kids like them and they might like other kids, and this person think I'm cute. And, I attribute some of those understandings and how I'm able to kind of approach with my daughter through my time in education, because before becoming a financial professional, I was in education. I was an English teacher. I was an athletic coach. I was an athletic director. I did all those different things. And I always reflect on what some of the kids would talk to me about that either made them uneasy or they weren't happy about. And it would all stem down to something in the home, something they felt they were lacking or not being able to talk to parents, or dad not being there, or maybe dad's working too much, or like being able to really see from a kid's view and lens some of the things, if they could change it, what it would be. And a lot of times it always came back to their relationship with their parents, more particularly a lot of girls, their relationship with their father, whether it was really good or whether they really wished it was better. These are the things and the shifts that I've been able to see with my own children, and especially my daughter as she's becoming older. And so I've almost had to do not a 360, but I had to do an approach. Like, I'm old school, we're traditional, spread a rod, spoil the child, all those good things that my kids grew up getting a spanking as needed. But as they've gotten older it's a different shift now. I'm not spanking a 13-year-old. Like what? No. At this point, you need to learn healthy. You need to learn a healthy understanding on your interaction with men. Should no man be putting his hands on you, right? So it's like, what does that look like? Parenting looks different. Being a father looks different. How long is too long? When do I transition to, okay, I can't do too much, but really talk to you and guide you and make you understand whether you make a bad decision. I'm here for you. I may not be happy about the decision you make, but I support you still. And those are the shifts that we have to make as dads, especially those babies. Yeah, especially if you're the father and you're the authoritative figure in the home, the kids might fear you. That healthy balance of fear and respect and the rapport that you build with your children is important, right? But as they get older, now they also need to truly understand that I can go talk to my dad, period, no matter what, whether I'm feeling down, whether I'm feeling upset, whether I don't like something you said, Dad. I want my kids to be able to have that open line of communication and it be respectful, but it be authentic, you know? And so I reflect back on some times where nurturing that and building that with my kids, and it kind of slapped me back in the face, but it was a reminder, this is what you want. And I give you an example. We were talking about something. and my son was like, well, Dad, I swear to God, I even posted on Facebook because it took me aback, man. I was taken aback by it. It was like, Dad, well, I'm not calling you a liar about what you just said, but I'm just telling you that I disagree with what you're saying. I was like, wait a minute. All right, touche, my boy. Okay, so what are you saying, right? And so just that's healthy. Teaching kids that they don't have to suppress everything. Teaching my kids that they don't have to hold everything in, because it's tough out here, man. This world is treacherous enough. And so we don't feel like we can talk to the people that we love and look up to the most. There's a disconnect with that. And so just kind of really thinking all of that through, that's how I've kind of really shaped my relationship with each of my children. My daughter taught me a lot about myself, a lot about life. And of course, we're never too young. They're never too young to teach us something. And so being able to embrace that, it makes fatherhood that much more enjoyable, because I am watching a little lady become a woman. I am watching two young little boys eventually become young men. And my joy and my prayer and my pride in that is, don't be like that. Be better than me. Take all of the things that I poured into you and go win, go thrive. Continue to generate and build the legacy that Dad has been so, gun-ho about. So I want to pass the torch. I want it to become easier for me, so that when I give it out to you, y'all keep going. And so that's how I've kind of really cultivated the relationships in the home. And that's how I lean on this day-to-day grind as a father. It's a lifetime commitment, man. You don't get no days off. 24/7. It's what we do. And sometimes it get a little easier, because when you've laid the foundation and you put the time and work, the kids are going to go their own ways, right? They're going to have their own frame of mind. But what Mama used to always say, and I'm a Southern boy to my heart, by and by, you'll understand me better. Right? And here I am, 33 years old. I'm still reflecting on things Mom said when I was 15 or 16, or some of my uncles said, or looking at different father figures, my elder brother, the things that he poured into me. Like, we don't forget those things. We hold on to them, and those things cycle back around. We find ourselves doing things as an adult that was instilled in us or poured into us when we were younger. And so those are the things that we have to reflect, because whether it's trauma and things that are not good to a child, or something positive that we hold near and dear of one of our best childhood memories. And every adult, especially men, and I don't even want to say especially men and women, and every adult is a child who is trying to make certain that they were heard, loved, fulfilled, and seen. And so if you have an adult who's still dealing with childhood trauma issues, errors, that affects us as an older age. So we have to be delicate with our babies. We have to make certain that we pour good stock into them. We have to make certain that we build what it is that they believe in, and guide them, because those are the things that when they no longer have to listen to us. Those are the things that they'll keep near to the chest and use as guidance through their overall life.
This man just said a mouthful, boy. Oh boy. I hope everybody out there that listens to that, I hope y'all was listening and paying attention. And if not, hit the rewind button about 5 minutes, man, and let that all soak in. So there's so much that I could just get from that. And there was something that you said in there, man, that is, man, I can't wait for my babies to get home from school now. You know, because I just, you know, I'm big on self-reflection, man. I'm just thinking took me back to yesterday. Yesterday we had an all right day, but I think I had a piece in my day yesterday where I kind of went off on my babies. And I'm always trying to work on being more delicate with them. But at times, and I'm just, like I say, stuff, you start moving fast and I'm tired and all this, and then something just clicked just like that. And I'm like, okay, that's the thing. That's the one. Boy, I'm finna go off. And I said what I said, and I went in my room. And when I went in my room, I heard them, you know, all three of them out in the living room. They were talking amongst each other, saying whatever they were saying. Daddy, man, he always gets mad about this. And he blames everything on us. Man. Just saying all the little stuff. And I'm like, I'm just sitting in the room kind of listening. I was going to come out here and say, huh, you said what? But no, I just sat and I listened. And I was like, I do be going off on my babies. Like how we were just having this good day. And then that one thing just kind of took me over the edge for a quick second. And I went off. And especially with my oldest, she said something about a week ago after she got out of school. I asked her, you know, I was like, how was your day at school? She was like, not too good. I was like, why? She was like, our teacher was so upset with us today. You know, I guess they were getting prepared for a test or whatever. And a lot of the people in the class, you know, a lot of the kids were getting the questions wrong. And she was like, every time someone got it wrong, the teacher was just upset. Like, come on, you guys know this. You got to know this. We went over this, you know, however many times. And she was just so upset. And, you know, she was acting like we're not humans, like we're perfect, you know, and people aren't perfect. And, you know, and she was just so upset, and she just was harping on that. And as she was saying that, I'm like, dang, I do that a lot with them. And, you know, just thinking of myself, and I'm like, I do the same thing at times. And I've been really trying to work on that a lot lately. And then last night I had that lapse. And I'm like, I keep doing it, man. And, you know, I just think, like, sometimes I fear losing my babies. Especially, you know, like my son and my youngest daughter, you know, they're 7 and 6 right now. A lot of stuff they still don't understand. They're not comprehending it like my 10-year-old daughter. And she is like, and she's smart, man. And she pays attention, she asks questions, and she's just very, very, I find myself having to kind of watch conversations now that
Absolutely.
I'm having with people, because
Absolutely.
she's paying attention. And she, like, I'll kind of look, and she's like side-eyeing me the whole time. And I'm like, she's sitting here listening to my conversation. She's to that age now. And she understands, even though she might not understand the severity. I might just be talking about just regular life situations with a friend on the phone or something, but she's paying attention and she's soaking it all in. And so she's to that point now. And, you know, I'm just really trying to learn to just be so much more delicate, especially with her, because I'm like, man, I believe she's really close to that age to where I could potentially lose her. You know, she was my first baby, and we've just always been close. Like, she's probably like my closest child, especially because like in 2017, we were homeless for like 4 or 5 months. My wife and my 2 youngest babies had to go up to Chicago with some of her family. And me and my oldest daughter stayed here with my mom. And so during those few months, our bond just, it was already strong, but she was what I could lean on in that time. And it just continued throughout the years. And I see now a lot of the stuff that I say affects her. And I believe it affects her to her core. And I see it. I see it on her, just spiritually, I can see it. Mentally, I know it affects her, and she's a what you call an empath. I believe she truly can feel, she feels things, man. And I'm just really trying to learn to when you talked about that delicacy, I believe it's just so important for us to be that in tune with our children, because that's a fear for me, being so harsh at times to the point to where she just shuts down, and I
And
don't want that to continue, man. That's like a big fear for me, man.
and that's one of those that's one of those beauties of fatherhood, man. There's always room for improvement, right? There's always areas that we can reflect on and be better in. And so having conversations, candid conversations like this, and being authentic and surrounding ourselves with like-minded men who are also, killing it in fatherhood in their own right, and things, got nuggets and gems that they're able to share. To what you're doing now, Dad, can we talk? Sometimes it's something as powerful as a conversation can impact masses and allow and set the stage for someone to pick and pull some things that they know they may be able to do better. Or there may be some areas where they're killing it in and they're able to pass that down to the next person. And so hearing you, talk about that and me reflecting on what that truly looks like, that's just like that shift within parenthood. And that delicacy and understanding that we're not perfect, and reflecting back on my dad, that's a reminder that he wasn't perfect. He was trying to figure it out. He was probably in his own head. How do I leave my wife, or how do we get a divorce, but I still be in tune with what they got going on, and then also trying to balance a new relationship with new extended kids. And that's why I tell anybody, hey, if you got kids outside, or you're co-parenting while being blessings to you, love and light to you. That takes a special kind of person, because I just can only think within my own head and in my own space, balancing my own household.
Seriously.
Now I got to balance another one over here. Maybe my wife, or at least my partner has a kid from a previous relationship. I have a kid from a. That's a lot of different dynamics that play into what parenthood looks like. It's no universal thing, and understanding that and being okay with that. Parenthood, fatherhood, it's no universal approach to what this looks like, because there's different setups, there's different styles of parenting. There's so many different things that go into just being a parent, man. So we have to just continuously tell ourselves we're lifelong learners with parenthood, fatherhood. I'm always looking to be better, do better, and just kind of really nurturing those spaces that I know is going to be beneficial for my children now, and of course in the future for them.
That's so real, man. How do you balance work and life, just in general? Big thing in our time right now is, we talk so much about mental health and taking care of yourself, but you also got these 3 kids who all individually need their own time and their own attention. And then you got this wife who also needs her time with you. And um, then you got work and it's everything else that comes. How do you balance all of that? How do you choose when and what to give time to? How do you go about that in your life?
Man, I'll be honest. A few years back, I I would say time management was like one of the things that I know was an area of focus for me. People used to have this whole idea, this mantra about Dan. You know, Dan gonna be late. But it was always no. I learned there was a weakness. There was a weakness with myself where it wasn't necessarily. Now we can call a spade a spade. Time management was at the forefront of that because, and this was in my own head. I'm trying to be everywhere for everybody, right? So that was actually serving to be a detriment to me because I would overcommit, you know, and then I would look back, especially before I started utilizing a calendar and really putting my life on a calendar. The calendar has been how, to answer your question in a short answer, my calendar has balanced my entire life. And I'll go a little more into what that looked like. You know, if we're just going through life, and I still think to this day, how did I get this far? Just winging it, right? In terms of, oh, you got something going on Saturday? I'll be there. Cool. I think I can make it, but not really putting it down nowhere. I'm just making a bunch of mental notes. I might go somewhere tomorrow and somebody say, oh yeah, bro, we got this going on. Bring the family. Oh, in my head, great event. Duh, with my kids and my wife, no brainer. Everybody, hey, I ain't even really talked to my wife to see if she free. Yeah. Oh man, then boom, before you know it, Dan done told 10 people he gonna be somewhere, sometimes within the, you know, same 2-3 day frame. And it's like, right? And so I continue to reflect, why am I always struggling to get somewhere? And it was because I was trying to go from here to here, and it wasn't no real lift. I didn't include travel time. I didn't include resetting, even with my meetings now. I didn't, you know, before, when I first started as a financial service professional, I didn't build time in, realistic time frames in, that gave me time to nurture everything that I committed to. I.e., if I had an hour-long meeting, right, I was not intentionally putting 30-minute blocks in there, whether it's to recap on notes, take a breather, go to the restroom, whatever I needed. I wasn't, you know, efficiently building out my time. And so once I just looked at that, no wonder you running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You told your daughter you was going to be able to make this event, but you also told your client you were going to meet them for happy hour. But then you also told the wife that you can pick the kids up, or the younger kids up. All of this is conflicting. Now you got to drop the ball on somebody somewhere. And it was bleeding to every facet of my life. You know, I was messing up with being somewhere for my kid. I was running late to a client meeting, when realistically, there was no way humanly possible I was going to be able to do all of those things anyway. No, it's just, I can't be. Only person I know is omnipresence is God, right? That's the only person that can be multiple places at once. I was trying to be God and I didn't even know it, right? So long story short, I put everything on my calendar. If it's on my calendar, it sticks. It's sacred. All the way down to building in my family time. My work, like my colleagues, my senior partner, my managing partner, they can see my calendar from sun up to sundown within reason. Of course, I have my personal calendar that I share with my family, but on like a generic basis, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., it says manly deeds. That's blocked out. That's family time. Whatever my baby's got going on, practice, dinner time, getting ready for bed, showering, time with the kids, the wife, sitting at the table, that's blocked off. No one comes between that. And if there is an exception to the rule, I put it on the personal calendar and it's, you know, it syncs. They can, you know, kind of really see my day. Same with health. You know, I block out. The easiest time frame to me, from my humble opinion, to focus on yourself is very early in the morning, when the world is asleep and the world is at peace. That's, you know, you hear a lot of these different successful people they rise at 4:30. They're the 5 a.m. guys. They're the 6 a.m. crew. That's what has worked for me. When I don't do that, it bleeds into the rest of my day. If I don't honor my calendar, it bleeds into the rest of my day. So I literally, meditation, working out, going for a jog, dieting, what am I eating, my windows of eating, all of these things are on calendars, right? Because we fail to realize that successful people, you know, and there's no universal definition of success, but successful people in their own right, celebrities, people who, you know, made it big, high income earners, a lot of the things that we have to do ourselves, that's taken off their plate. Some people
Mm.
don't really realize how impactful that is. If you could wake up and just focus solely on your craft, and somebody is telling you pretty much or outlining what your day is going to look like, of course you can appear like Superman, i.e. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Kevin Hart's. Granted, the work ethic and the discipline has to be there. You can't take that from them. But when someone is strategically building your day for you, for the most part, whether it's your executive assistant or you have an assistant, someone who plans your day out, you're not going to miss those things because they've already built it in there. Hey, we know you're supposed to be flying here to Louisiana. We know your son has a baseball game that you committed to that we're going to make sure there's no conflict. We're going to make sure there's travel time. We're going to make sure you're blocked out for your vacation with your wife, next month. Everything is spelled out. So when we think of work-life balance, from my humble opinion, as a very involved dad, and a busy, entrepreneur, your calendar almost has to govern how you move in every facet of your life, because those systems are put in place to help us think, to make us efficient, and to hold us accountable. I said I was going to be here at 7:30. I know my calendar my calendar is showing me travel time. It takes me 30 minutes to get there by 7:25 or 7:20, 10 minutes early. If I don't build that in, or if I don't adhere to that and have the discipline and the commitment, that's an area where I dropped the ball, because everything realistically was set in place, just like this meeting here. On my calendar, it was 12 noon, but I know in order to have my lighting set up, make certain internet is stable, everything's good, and we can jump right into it as soon as your screen pops on, I needed to allot another 30 minutes. So yes, it started at 12, but I needed to be ready at 11:30.
Mm.
Having that understanding around everything that we do, and kind of look like my brother. He's a time management guru. His idea, his mantra: hurry up and wait. If you hurry up and wait, you're never late.
Yeah.
Hurry up and wait, and then you got these different military slogans and sayings that they say. If you're on time, you're late. You know what I mean? And so if you're early, you're on time. Applying that and making that applicable to every facet of my life, man, has been very beneficial. It keeps peace. It minimizes arguments. It sets the stage for accountability and reliability. And it makes you a person who truly says what they say, they mean what they say, and they do what they say they're going to do. And so it all blends together. And so if you built that rapport with people on a personal side, a business side, family side, your kids know that they can count on you. I know dad say he can't make Wednesday practice, but he told me on his calendar that he'll be to my game on Friday. Kids stick to it. Dad, where were you? They remember. Being able to have that commitment in every facet. I have a meeting with, I had a meeting with you, that be able to say, and you to rely that, okay, when I set a meeting with Dan, he's going to show. With my wife, we say we're going to go on a date tomorrow. We're going to go on a date because that's on a calendar. That's a commitment. Work-life balance applies and is applicable to every facet of our life. And sometimes we just need to utilize the resources that are available to us. One of those simple, routines and things is a shared calendar with your family. I have a shared calendar with my family. Everybody sees what everybody's doing. If there's a conflict, we discuss it, work it out. What's precedent? What's more important? Okay, Destiny, you have an award ceremony at 7. I had a happy hour that, I'm going to push that out the way because, of course, my daughter's award ceremony takes precedent. Oh, hon, you was also going to do a thing with your girls that evening. Oh, you might want to bounce that to Friday because Destiny's award ceremony takes precedent. Or if there's 3 conflicting things where everybody has something very important, everybody got to stand on their own 2 feet. Destiny, you'll be there. We'll pick you up after we leave. Dad has this important meeting. Mom has to do something with the boys. We'll divide and conquer. We'll come back in the center when we're together. And just kind of having those conversations, having a calendar in the home. Everybody writes their important things. Like if you look at, there's a calendar that we have in our home that sits right in the kitchen. It's just a quick check-in on what everyone got's going on. Like my daughter next week is 8th grade, everything. So I already know I'm at her mercy. I don't even have to think about it because I already know it's on the calendar. My baby's getting ready for 8th grade dance. She's getting ready for her 8th grade trip, nails, hair. I already know my baby's already put it out there that this is what I need you for Monday. This is what I need for you on Tuesday. This is what so there's no, dad knows. And so work-life balance, that's kind of really, truly how I've been able to govern my home. I almost run it like a business with love.
Man, I love that, man. That calendar is something I never thought about, a shared calendar. I think I need it because I'm the super busy one in my family. So I'm always like I got a calendar and everything. I kind of throw stuff on there as I need it, but I need to structure it a little more. But that has saved me a lot, especially with this podcast, man. I'm just like, oh, boy, I got to look at my calendar and make sure I ain't got this going on. And man, I done told this person I can interview. Boy, he gonna have to push back another month. You know,
Right.
very important that that calendar is a big thing. And I think if I was to structure mine even more, that'll help me out. And but that shared calendar, that's something I'm gonna look into, because a
It's
lot of times
beautiful, bro. It's
my
beautiful.
wife is like, what do you got going on? I'm like, let me look at my calendar real quick. And then so if she actually had the same calendar as me, you know, because a lot of times I'm setting up the kids, doctor appointments, everything. So she's like, when did you say so and so?
Same, but man, I'm telling you, the peace and the organization and structure that comes from it. Because there's been times I knew I said something, and I like for a split second forgot. Oh, my wife can see it too. So like I had like an eye surgery last week, and I forgot. You know, so I'm gonna handle it while everybody's at work, school, whatever. I go and my wife texts me at like 20-30 minutes before the appointment. She was like, good luck on your eye surgery today, hon. Because it was just like a quick outpatient. I'm like,
Yeah,
hey, I forgot. Oh, it's on the calendar.
yeah,
Like, so just little stuff like, all right, if I put an exam or anything, a meeting, a big meeting, even today's meeting on our shared calendar. She texted me about 15 minutes ago, like before it started. She's like, good luck on your podcast today. Because we're one, we're in sync. You know what I'm doing, I know what you're doing. It's there. I don't have to question it. It's on the calendar. And that's another thing that helps us get out of an argument on the other side. Baby, you didn't put it on the calendar. I didn't know. You didn't tell me. I didn't see it. Oh, you're
mm,
right. Conversation over. I didn't know it was on the calendar. I forgot. And it's a true, easy accountability measure that allows us to kind of really, whatever. I didn't put it on the calendar. That's my bad.
mm.
Next topic.
Boy, you just put me up on game with this. And see, and this is why I love these podcasts so much, because like I always tell people, man, you can say this and say that about all the stuff you do. Man, at the end of the day, no one has all the answers and no one has it all together. Like, we got to continue to learn, and I think at times, people look at me and see a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. And I'm just like, bruh, I am not the answer. I got
I
a lot
struggle too, right?
for real, and it might not look like it at times, but man, I got a lot of stuff that's up against me. And a lot of times when I tell people certain things I got going on, they're like, dang, Brian, know you had that going on. I'm like, yeah, I just I don't like to dump it on people sometimes, because I feel like certain people can't even deal with, they wouldn't know what to do with what I tell you I got going on. So I kind of keep it to myself and keep the face on. But
And
you know,
sometimes that's good emotional intelligence, man. Just being
yeah,
able to decipher when is this a safe space? Are you the right person to even have this conversation with?
mm,
And I don't want to miss your point, but like that's why people like shrinks and mental health counselors and life coaches is so important, man. Because sometimes we need to just go dump some stuff. And if you're a friend, cool. If you have a confidant, those are great people, and that's dope. But I know also I love my homie enough to where if I feel like I'm in just a rough cloud, I don't want to always be pouring that on you, bro. I don't want to always get that energy to you. I know you're gonna listen because you love me, right? And the same, you can call me if it's dire need or whatever. But there's also people who our insurance companies will either help pay for or pay for, and that's your job. So I can
yeah,
tell you everything I need, and it's your job and your responsibility to give me logical explanations and feedback as it relates to what I'm doing. So
mm,
I'm gonna lean on that and
yeah,
take that pressure off my people, to like I say, to a certain degree, because that's healthy. That's good for my mental health. That's better on my homie's mental health. That's better on my wife's mental health. If every
mm,
time I'm going through something, I'm not just putting all that bad energy on you. I'm utilizing other resources to do that. And guess what? Now when I go drop it on my life coach, now when I go drop it on my shrink, I've dealt with it a lot more. I'm more than likely at better peace. I'm more centered. Now, if I talk it to the homie, it's more of a, hey man, this is what was going on, but I'm good now, baby. or, you know what I'm saying, wifey, this is what I was dealing with. You know, I kind of kept it to the chest a little bit, talked to my life coach about it. You know, I know women, they want to feel, hey, I'm your go-to person. Absolutely. I want to tell you everything. Absolutely. But at the same time, I have enough love and respect for you too, to where I kind of diverge how I'm putting that information and energy out in the universe, because I want your energy just the same. You got to go home. You got to go to work and be in front of people and keep your positive vibe going on too. I don't need you to take my negative energy or my bad vibe to work with you. And now you fighting two battles. What your husband got going on mentally and what you got to deal with the people at work. Nah, I'm gonna kind of curtail some of that. Utilize my resources first. Use the people who's supposed to help me do those things. And then when I bring it to you, it's a little more leveled out, or it's a little, we're in a milder situation where maybe we're in bed and we're talking. Now it's a healthier conversation. We're just that briefing. I'm just sharing with you what was going on, and I feel a lot better about it now. Or, you know, there are times where you might catch it right there, and I cry on your shoulder, or whatever the case may be. You just have to understand that we got to utilize our entire circle. And that just doesn't mean family or friends, because sometimes some of the things you hold on to might just need best said and left with a professional or professional only. Because you got to worry about it going nowhere. No matter how much you trust somebody, some things just needs to be said to, you know, that person who has an obligation to you to hold it to the chest, because it might be something that you need professional guidance with, right? And so it's kind of leaning on those different things, man. It is very dope, and it just allows for everything to work in sync.
Boy, this man teaching today, boy, man. Ah, I ain't even gonna touch on a lot of that, man. That's just so much, man. You know, and
Love.
I just always say, man, you know, like this podcast for me is like a blessing, because I be needing this, man. You know, like just a lot of stuff you just said just brought back so many things. Like, man, that makes sense. Oh, it just give me, yeah, bro. Listen, you're doing what you need to do.
Yes,
But
sir. Appreciate you,
yeah, man, listen. Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna move on, man. So much, you know, and this is why I think as men, we gotta have these conversations, because you never know, man. You know, we gotta be able to sit down and at times question each other and get an understanding. It's like you just never know. And for me, like at times this podcast is like therapy for me. You know, a time where, you know, most of the time I'm by myself, kids are at school, my wife is at work, and it's like I get a time to just get me some time to where I can really release. And now it's like I feel more ready and prepared for when the kids get home. I feel more prepared for when my wife gets home, and my mind is more clear. You know, my heart is a little more light, you know, because at times I carry around a lot of burdens, and, you know, being able to just sit with another person and really just talk and chop it up, man, it's always like refreshing to me, because most of the time I'm the person people come to with all of these things. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
boy, I got
Eh,
some stuff going on, man.
it gets, and man, you have to be mindful of that, because, you know, especially if you really did learn about yourself that you're a giver, or you're that person, you're that go-to person. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, you have to sometimes take a step back. Well, dang, well, who is my go-to person, and what does that look like? Because if I went and dump half the stuff I was holding on, whether I'm holding on bad things or energy for a host of friends and clients, you know, and I got all these things. How do I go and divulge this in a healthy, professional, or a healthy way, to where I'm not just basically transferring all this negative these dumps on people, without consideration? And we have to really have the emotional intelligence to do that, and know when and how to even kind of make that happen, while also not holding on it too long, you know, because when stuff festers, what now was a quick, easy fix or a quick combo is now something that I need to deal with more internally, and I got to do deeper work to dump off because I held on it too long. And so, yeah, man, that's vital, bro. That's vital. And that's why I always, sometimes I put an occasional text out there. Sometimes you gotta check on your strong friends. We're not always okay. And
That's real.
sometimes that's just a dad, you
Yeah,
know,
that's real.
having to have the answer of, I'll take care of it. And you ain't even had time to process how you take care of it. You know, people sleep on that type of pressure. You know, when your mom or when your wife or your children comes to you with something, and you may not even have the answer right away, but that response has to be, "I'll take care of it. I'll look into it." Saying that all the time without being able to ever really say, "No, I can't handle that." You're not supposed to say that, right? That's birds of unheard of a man or a father, right? But in that segment right there, that's pressure, right? To have to perform when you might not be feeling your best self, when you're dealing with things emotionally, internally. I'll go and give you, a prime example. My mom, she's been battling some things health wise, and that knocked me off my pivot legitimately. But guess what? I still had to be a father. I still had to be a husband. I still had to be there for my clients. Man, how does that look? How do I do that? I'm hurting myself. You know what? I have to go talk to somebody. I need help with this. I need someone to help guide me through what this looks like because I'm hurting, right? But my daughter still has needs. My son still has needs. My client still has needs. My wife still has needs. And I still got to tell everybody, I'll take care of it. And so that's why we have to be really in tune with ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, because all these parts are interdependent on how we're able to be our best self, the best dad, the best husband, the best brother, the best homie. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if we're not filling our cup and we're not putting the right things in it, guess what? We're giving other people BS. And that's just what it looks like. Whatever you pour in your cup and whatever you pour into yourself, if you try to give somebody a taste and it ain't right, it ain't good, you ain't putting the right stuff in it, ain't nobody gonna want none of that drink. And that's kind of how we have to function. I have to pour stuff into me that's positive, from my podcast to my reads, to my spiritual pressure, to my spiritual prayers, my meditation, trying to take care of myself. That way, my cup full, baby. What you need? I got you. You all right today, boy? You ain't feeling your best? I'm good. I filled my cup today. I'm straight. We're in that regard. I can tap in and take some of that pressure off. What's going on with you? Now I'm able to be better in every facet. Man, I worked out. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I got energy. On 10 toes at your soccer game tonight, son. I'm energetic. I'm not sleepy. I'm not groggy. I'm here for you. I'm present. I put my phone down. I'm watching you. We good. Because I've put the right things in that cup to pour back out that day. If I don't put the right stuff in the cup tomorrow, then it's that my day gonna look like that. I'm tired. I didn't sleep right. I didn't eat right, or I partied, or I had drinks, or whatever the case may be. If I don't pour the right things in that cup, then I'm pouring back bad stuff out to the people that rely on me, depend on me, and the people that love me. Perpetuating cycle if we don't get it right.
Yeesh. That Can We Talk community. I hope y'all getting this, man, as much as I'm getting it. For real. But man, before we get out of here, man, I want you to talk about Proud Fathers, man. What is Proud Fathers? How did you come up with it? What you got going on with that?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked, man. In a very short way, Proud Fathers is basically an empowerment organization, business that basically empowers proud fathers to continually play an instrumental role in their kids' life. And we do that through events, we do that through apparel, and we do that through involvements like the one we're in now. And so, for example, we have our inaugural Father's Day brunch coming up June 17th from 11:30 to 3 p.m., showing love to the fathers, good eats, live music, live DJ, good vibes apparel be on deck for fathers to order. And so that's what Proud Father stands for, man. We basically taking fatherhood, making it cool, ensuring that dad knows that there's love and light and good energy in everything that we do. And so we can continuously have fun with it. We'll throw on a Gucci shirt or a Louis shirt, or we'll throw on, the different brands, but to me, this is one of the most invaluable brands I can wear. This is letting kids know, this is letting the community know that I am an active and involved father. And no, I don't have to display it, but I'm proud to show it. And that's the ideal around proud fathers. Yes, I know I'm a dad. Yes, I know I'm killing it. Yes, I'm involved. Yes, I'm there. But here's just another reminder to those who may not be so proud of. Here's another reminder or some more empowerment to those who, might seem unheard or might feel unheard or might feel unseen. You're a proud father. You're doing your thing. We see you. And if we get wind of it, and if we get, access to what you got going on, we're going to highlight it. We're going to share it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to embrace it. We're going to clap for each other. We're going to salute you. And we're going to continuously put you in spaces or set the stage to have another safe space for proud fathers to kind of really connect, build off each other, lean on each other, and embrace each other through everything that we'll continuously do. Inaugural brunches and things like the Daddy Daughter Ball that's upcoming, various empowerment seminars and conferences that our proud fathers have coming up. And so that is kind of really how we'll continuously pour into the community, providing apparel just the same, just showing love and light, man, to proud fathers. That's our vibe.
Love that. And where would that be at?
So the inaugural Father's Day brunch is going to be at the Sheraton Hotel. Eventbrite's already set up. If you just type in Proud Fathers on Eventbrite, or there's the links all over my social media. You can go to you can follow us on all social media platforms. Our very main and primary platforms is both Facebook and Instagram. We also have a website, of course, but the handles is Proud Fathers with 2 S's. That's PROUDFATHERSS, both on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. At Proud Fathers is where you can stay in tune and stay in the know with everything we have going on. And then, of course, our website for apparel, www.proudfathers.co. That's CO, proudfathers.co. And you'll see everything you need, and you'll be able to stay tuned with everything we got going on.
Man, I love that. I'm gonna definitely have to check it out because I'm gonna need me a shirt so I can rock it around the city, man.
Oh, they there, man, and that's it. Especially like our performance line, man. That when we were designing that shirt, it was like, what is a shirt? Because we're creature of habits. We got a few things we know. When I'm about to hit the road real quick, I just need to throw it on real quick. That's my shirt. It's comfortable. It's sleek. It's easier to wash. And it's a quality shirt. It lasts a long time. And that's one of my performance shirts. Going to the game. I'm going to pick the kids up. I'm about to go grocery shopping real quick. That's my shirt. That's one of those. It's a timeless piece. And the idea is to see so many men rocking it, wearing it, and really embracing what it is to be a proud father.
I love, man, for y'all out there listening, man, y'all go and get the shirts, man, support. And y'all in Jacksonville, right?
We're based out of Jacksonville, but we ship nationwide.
Okay, so man, if you're anywhere in the area, man, support my man. I got one more question I want you to answer this one right here. Man, if you could talk with the 18-year-old version of Dan, and knowing everything you know right now at your current age, and if you could give that young man one piece of advice going forward, what would you say to him?
Time is the most invaluable thing and the biggest asset of our lives. Be intentional with it, be selfish with it when needed, but more importantly, honor it and value it. Show up for people when you say you're going to show up. Be there for people when you say you're going to be there. And expect the same from others. And because that goes into everything else that we'll do in this life, from a professional standpoint, from a personal standpoint. Sometimes just being there, doing what you say you were going to do. A lot of people take that for granted, but when we're dead and gone, all we ever have is our word and our legacy and our name. So time, man, be intentional with time. It's invaluable. It's important. And that would definitely be the thing that I said to my 18-year-old self, be invaluable. I mean, remember that time is invaluable. and honored in every facet.
That's some advice we can all take going forward, man. Y'all listen. This right here was a blessing for me. I needed this. And I appreciate you, man. You know, we gonna definitely got to stay tapped in with one another, man. You know, I got y'all, got all your social medias, man, and we gonna definitely stay up, man. You know, because I'm always trying to add to my team, you know, guys that I can, you know, glean from. You know, and bro, you shared a lot of wisdom, and that's what I need. You know, going forward, you know, I'm always trying to gain, you know, a bigger circle, you know, guys of dads, husbands, people that I know that I could lean on if I ever need it, man. And
Absolutely. And I definitely shoot you my personal contact when we get off the line here as well.
Do that, man. Do that, man. So yeah, I ain't gonna keep you too much longer, man. Like I say, man, I appreciate you giving your time, sharing all this wisdom. And man, continue to be great, man. Continue to be a proud father. Continue to do what you're doing, man. Love them babies, love your wife, and just keep on pushing, my man.
Appreciate you, man. Love what you're doing as well, man. Hey, man, I'll really be a call away if you need my brother. I'm gonna send you my contact info. Let's stay tapped in. If there's anything I can do for you, anything you got going on, and I can play a part, think of me. I'll be here, and vice versa, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. So for all the dads out there, man, in the Dad Can We Talk community, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we're gonna call it a day on that one on episode 111. And we out of here. Peace.
Yes, sir.